Hi, I'm Dana, and today's is a very different video to usual because it's sort of a cross between an actual video and a vlog, because today's the 21st of September and I've been waiting for today because today's the day that the new season of Sex Education's out. I love TV shows. First off, if you're new here, I love a TV show. I've always been a Doctor Who fan and I've always really enjoyed being able to make a thing out of it, you know, that's the thing that brings me the most joy as an autistic person, honestly, is making a thing out of when my new show's out, when there's a new episode, when there's a new season, whatever it is, being able to make an event out of it for myself, I really enjoy. So today was meant to be that because I'm really into Sex Education because it's got Gillian and Ncuti Gatwa and Doctor Who and X-Files, bitch, it's perfect. So today's video was supposed to be a vlog where I'd get up this morning and I'd schedule a video I need to schedule, and I gave my baby boy oatman, and it was gonna be a vlog of me preparing the event and getting to watch a show that I'm excited for. It was gonna be great, and that's not happened because I am currently reading a book series. And the annoying thing kind of is that I was reading a book series and I finished a book series. I read 18 books, I think it was, in 12 days. And then rather than just be done with it, I just jumped to another series from the same writer, and because she mentions the original book series had someone that owned a bookstore, and that bookstore is mentioned in this series, and that means that it's the same series for me, it's just different. Anyway, I'm now in the position where I really want to make an event and have my autistic joy from the show that I like coming out, but I can't do that until I've finished the books. But I'm not enjoying reading this book because I'm supposed to be doing the event so that I can watch my show, you know? You probably don't know. I don't know if this is relatable to anyone. That's why I wanted to make this video and have it be as disjointed and rambly and weird as it is. Because I feel like I'm somehow doing something wrong. I decided that I want to watch this show. The decision to do that is mine. I can watch it anytime. Nobody is waiting on me to watch this show. I don't need to review it or watch it with someone or whatever, you know? It's entirely a thing for me to enjoy doing in my spare time when I want to do it. And yet the fact that I'm not doing it right now when it's the day that it's released, I feel guilty almost. I feel I really should be doing it and I'm not. And I made my food thinking that I was immediately going to sit down and watch it, and instead I've opened it and I'm going to read for a bit now. But I'm still really hoping that I actually get around to watching the show today, because that's my little autistic plan. And that's the thing, is it's a plan that I've made that's outside of the routine that I keep, which makes it quite anxiety inducing. It makes it a big thing, and it's something that I've thought about a lot in the last few days, you know. It was my plan and now it's gone wrong and it feels very incorrect and bad, and I need to displace myself from this part of reality in the universe. It feels like I don't belong in it anymore, because what is supposed to be happening around me isn't, even though I'm in control of that, you know? But yeah, I'm gonna eat my food while I read a bit, maybe a chapter or two, maybe 3, and then I'm gonna try and set up to watch Sex Education and make it my little event and talk a little bit more about it and show you it, and hopefully do the bit of vlog that I thought I was gonna do just later on in the day, essentially. And hopefully it'll be a little bit of fun, a little bit of something. This is my dinner, by the way. It's leftover cottage pie with, I mean, it's not really fresh baked bread anymore, but it was last night when I made it. Oh man.
Well, but then they broke up. It was just a Maeves got left behind.
So I've just finished the first episode of season 4 of Sex Education, and I feel like it's time to try some G-Spot. I got absolutely fully suckered into the marketing, just the fact that it's Gillian, the fact that it's called G-Spot. It's a funny little pun on a drink. I was immediately I'm gonna buy that when it comes out, and I did. And it was expensive. They've put the price down a little bit, but I paid £24 for 6 cans. I don't even pay that much for alcohol. So I'm terrified of this not being good at this point. This one is the Lift Berries and Peppercorn apple juice drink, sparkling juice drink with herbal extracts, and that's my cat crying at the door. It's fairly appropriate to have Otis in this video, to be fair, isn't it? You're the oat cake in this house. So there's no added sugar, there's no caffeine, it's low calorie, and there's natural ingredients. I wouldn't normally read the ingredients list on things, but I don't like the sound of this, so I'm going to read it to you. Sparkling water, apple juice, 17% NFC. Juice from concentrate, 1.8%. Pomegranate, cherry, raspberry. Erythritol, herbal extracts, lion's mane and cordyceps mushroom. Thyme, bacopa, peppercorn, 0.01%. Theanine, flavour, B vitamins. Thiamine, riboflavin, niacinamide, pantothenic acid, and pyridoxine. Important, consult your GP if pregnant, breastfeeding or taking medication. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure or prevent any disease. Bacopa, theanine, cordyceps and lion's mane to energize body and mind. An energizing and invigorating blend of adaptogens and nootropics to help fight stress, enhance stamina and boost cognition. Just drink it already, yeah. I don't like the sound of it now I've actually looked at it. I was just like, oh yeah, Gillian, let's give it a go, but it doesn't smell bad. It's quite a complex flavour. When it's in your mouth, it's got a lovely like berry flavour, and the moment you've swallowed it, it tastes like when you lick like a Nintendo DS cartridge or a battery or something. Like it's that very like electrical taste. This is what happens when you get autistic people to describe flavours, but like it's electrical. I don't know how else to explain it. It's like when you've like licked something to try and make it work. Anyone? I spent so much time just sitting in silence thinking about how much money I'd spent on these, how much I hate them, how disgusting they are, the fact that I really think Gillian Anderson lied to me when she said that these were good in the ads. It also tastes a bit like yoghurt. Like a berry yoghurt. The more I drink of it, it's kind of growing on me. Like it's not good, but I'm not mad about it, so I'm gonna sip it while I watch the next episode or two. It's not growing on me. I had like 3 more sips and it started making me feel sick and gave me chills. It's kind of rank. It's actually really not very good. I needed this piece of cake to get over how bad those drinks are. No, but this cake was delicious, and I ate that and some popcorn and some various other snacks while I watched the entire rest of the show and stayed up until like 3 AM to do so. Like, look at it, one of the layers is fucking pink. And it's vegan as well. Om nom nom. It's the next day. I finished watching at like 2 AM and then had to edit a video today, so it's a fully new day. I didn't try any more of these G-Spot drinks because the first one tasted a bit like piss and battery acid, and at first I was like, oh, I think it's growing on me. And then by the time I was done with like a third of the can, it was making me feel really fucking nauseous. It was really grim. I poured it out and rinsed the can because I'm going to save the can because it's Gillian Anderson's G-Spot. But it completely put me off for the day. Also, they're all just apple juice drinks. They're all just sparkling juice drinks with herbal extracts. Like, they're literally all just like apple juice with a bit of flavouring, essentially. Like, the actual herbal like concentration is like literally like it says in the ingredients that it's like 0.01%. Like, oh, this one's 0.5%. Wow. So frankly, I don't want to be a bitch because I love Gillian Anderson with my entire heart and soul, but I do think these are a complete scam and a total rip-off. I'm sorry, I really do. Like, there goes any sort of fucking sponsorship I might have had. Like, I was gonna get sponsored. But, like, I really only am gonna say things that I believe about products, okay? And, like, these are the first one was shit. We're gonna sample this one now, and then I'll talk a bit about the show. Oh, this one smells quite nice, actually. This one smells, like, fresh. Has it got mint in it? It's cornflower and sage. I should have actually read the can before opening it. Magnesium, maca, reishi and ashwagandha to calm your mind. Unwind with refreshing cornflower and sage, paired with restorative herbs and amino acids. Yeah. It smells sort of minty and lemony, and now that I know that there's neither mint or lemon in it, it's made me very nervous of it because the first one was rank. Again, the flavour when it's in your mouth is really lovely. It's a really nice taste. And the moment it's gone, the aftertaste is just like... It's that like electrical vibe again. It's like when you've like licked a battery. Like, I don't mean to show my age, but it's specifically like when you had the mobile phones that the batteries came out, like the old Nokias, like my first couple of mobile phones. And you could take the battery out when it was dead and lick it and put it back in, and sometimes you'd get a bit of extra juice out of it. It's exactly that kind of vibe and feeling and taste. Like, like when it's in your mouth, it's a really lovely, like sweet, refreshing, like florally, summery flavour. Like, it's really fucking nice when you first drink it, which is why I keep wanting to drink more of it. But once you've actually swallowed it, oh. I think this one is actually getting better. I'll continue drinking that throughout the video. You'll see me drinking it. So, now that it's there and it seems like it's almost in shot, I feel like I need to like prop it up a little bit so that it's actually there. Am I a real YouTuber? Am I going for the sponsorship with Gillian Anderson after calling it kind of rank? Okay, so some thoughts on series 4 of Sex Education. I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was a very well put together, really interesting, like plot driven, very like slightly chaotic but not too stressful kind of season. And I feel like it touched on a lot of different like experiences and frankly trauma points. I felt like it brought up a lot of stuff for me. Like, this is the part that's gonna just be full on spoilers, so if you're not into that and you don't want to hear them, please leave now. So Maeves' mum died. I found it like real tough to watch because my dad died quite unexpectedly when I was around the same age as Maeve in the show, and I had a very difficult relationship with the rest of my family, and especially like, well, both of my brothers realistically. One's worse than the other, so that was a lot to watch and a lot to like relate to. Mum did die from an overdose though, which I like, quite thankfully have no experience with, but I feel like it was handled really, really nicely, because I feel like a lot of the time, like any sort of like drug stuff and drug addicts and anyone that's any sort of addict is, you know, even though it may be like for the plot and it may be to like show how different characters react and whatever else, there's always like a lot of resentment and like shittiness towards them in what I've seen. And I really liked that it was treated in the way of like, she fucked up, like it happens and it's really fucking horrible, and it's not like she did it on purpose, you know. There's no like there's a resentment of like, she could have gotten better, you could have done this, you could have done that, but there's no like hatefulness and no like it's very much understood that like it was the addiction that did this to her, it wasn't her doing it to herself, and like it was just very nice, I thought. And I really appreciated the way that they showed Maeve's grieving and how internalized a lot of it was. Like, I felt like I could really relate to Maeve in a lot of those moments, especially like needing to finish the crossword with like, I got the vibe that it was like with her mum kind of thing, like it was the last time she was going to be in the same building knowing that her mum was over there, and it was just a very like well written, prolonged experience for her, you know. I feel like in a lot of shows parents' deaths and anything heavy is often tried to just be like done and dusted, you know, they just want to deal with it in an episode and get it over with, so it's not like dragging down the show or whatever. And I really appreciated and enjoyed that it was stretched across and it really was a process and felt like it was a prolonged part of the plot and not just like this thing happened. I also really enjoyed the introduction of all of the new characters, and especially the storyline with, I think it was Abby. I'm not very good with new characters' names, I'm sorry. But the way that like her like constant toxic positivity was like presented and later dealt with, I think it could have been, from my own experiences with similar people, quite frankly, I feel like there's often a much more like manipulative undertone, and it's often done for like more of a reason than just their own need to be positive, you know. Like, I think that it did work for the character, which is why I'm not mad about it. I think it did work for the situation, the character, and it was a fun thing, you know, it was fine. But I think that in most real life experiences, people are like that to try and gain something, to try and get something, you know, it's not to avoid their own feelings and the like. And, you know, that's just me being like, I would have liked if it was my life experience. It's neither here or there. Another thing I don't have like a personal connection to but thought was quite well done from my limited ability to relate or whatever was Jean's storyline. I mostly watch this show for Gillian Anderson, I won't lie, so I'm always paying most attention to Jean, and seeing her sad was heartbreaking, I won't lie. But I think that it was another one that was like kind of a trauma point for me, because my parents were very, very depressed growing up, and I had quite a lot of like similar experiences to Otis, where it's very like, you don't know what the fuck to do, you don't know how to help, and it's starting to really affect you. And I found it quite, I think it was probably quite beneficial to me in the long run to see someone like Gillian Anderson, who I like love and adore, in the opposite position in the situation to what I was in. I think that offered me a lot of like ability to be like retrospective about it in a different way to how I usually am. And I know I'm making this like very about me, but I also think that that's the point of like art and media, is that it impacts a person, and I'm a person that's been impacted by it, and that felt like I was very able to like see things in my own life from a very different angle and a very different perspective, and gain a newfound empathy in a lot of ways. And obviously, like, I don't have a kid. My depressive episodes, I do think, have often been burnout cycles and not actual depression, but it was also very nice seeing like someone be so open and honest about like just feeling like shit and not really knowing what's wrong with them. And I think that'll probably be helpful to a lot of people out there. One of the things that I did very much relate to though and really adored was Amy's entire storyline this season. Amy's one of those characters that has really grown on me. Like, I did not care for her at all in the first season. Like, I didn't dislike her, but I was like, I don't care, you know, she's fine. But I'm kind of a little bit in love with her by this point. Her and Isaac's friendship was lovely, and again another like bit of a like relatable point for me, because obviously a lot of Isaac's storylines related around him being disabled, and it's like the dude said in the show, which is that like it's not about it, like, what was the phrasing of it? I've said very similar myself in videos before. The thing of like, we're not disabled by our disabilities, we're disabled by the society around us. So a lot of Isaac's plots, in my opinion, have been very like focused on the things around him more so than on him. So I really like getting to see him build that like friendship and later romance with Amy, as well as having him be like an artist, you know, having hobbies and being a very well-rounded character. I really appreciated. But also, like, I really fucking, again, like, I was talking about Isaac there because he is the centred, like, important part of this. But I really loved that they included Amy's, like, side experience of being friends with someone that's a wheelchair user and constantly having that, like, same sort of frustration that they're experiencing in a different way, obviously, of just looking at things differently and being like, why the fuck is the world, like, built to inconvenience my friend? Like, why, like, there is not a single thing appropriately put in place for this person to just get about their fucking life. And so often there's so many, like, useless things that don't need to be there that you've spent money on and put time and effort into, while not actually looking into the accessibility issues. And it's one of those things that I've experienced, like, quite a few times myself at this point, where it's just like at Comic-Cons when we're working together, they'll lock the doors that lead to the lift because they're like, oh, well, the stairs out there where there's no door, so no one will need the lift. And it's like, what about people that can't use the stairs? Or the time I was trying to go back to my friend's place and a van had just parked on the entire ramp up to their flat and we just couldn't go up there. And the guy was literally sat in the van and was just like, oh, I'm on my lunch break, I'm not moving the van. Like, there's so many just like things every single day that I wouldn't think about as an able-bodied person, but my friends are like consistently inconvenienced by and just constantly like prevented from living their lives. And I really appreciated both that being shown and being the central focus and being the main point, but like also as like my little selfish thing of having the relatability to Amy, of being like looking in and being like, I'm not a part of this community, I'm not like actively myself inconvenienced by these things, but I'm annoyed about them now I know about them. And it was really nice of all the see, that's the thing though, I'm like, oh, it was nice of the other students to like bother to see that and actually help them, and it's like, that's what you should do. You know, and that's without even talking about the fucking horrible art teacher that's like screaming into a mic for the deaf student that can hear her fine because of the implant. Like, take 5 fucking seconds to understand someone's accommodations. It's going to be so much easier for everyone. I just felt like it was done in a way that was like actually like interesting and amusing and like good entertainment for the plot and for the show, while also being like very, very true and raw and genuine and like actually impactful. And like, I really hope that more people see that and start actually thinking about accessibility issues, and I think that a lot of people will, because it was so well done. I'm coming to you while I edit because I forgot to talk about Amy's whole like art plot. So she had the whole side plot of becoming an artist and starting to get into photography, and eventually figuring out that her sort of like project that she wanted to work on, and her like, I consider it to be a bit of a masterpiece, to be completely honest, was taking pictures of the jeans that she was assaulted in and eventually destroying them. And that was another one that I like found very, very impactful, and I've definitely like gained some degree of inspiration from, because I still own the dress that I met my horrible abusive ex in when I was a 16-year-old, and I want to do something with it. And I might just fucking copy Amy at this point, to be honest with you. You might see something like that coming. But I also really appreciated that they'd carried that over. Like, I've watched so many shows where people are assaulted in one way or another, like in that type of way, and it will be dealt with in that episode or within that season, and then they just forget about it. And I really, really appreciate that. Not only was it something that people often consider to be like a small assault that doesn't really matter that much, despite the fact that it's, you know, terrifying and can really fuck you up in the way that we see it does with Amy. And I really appreciate that that's been demonstrated like that. It didn't have to be like a whole big, awful, terrible, life-ending thing for it to be really, really horrible. Combined with like actually continuing to portray that throughout the seasons and continue having it be something that she has to like process and deal with and actually, you know, heal from. And I also very much think that Amy honestly is neurodivergent. Like, the way that her smartness shows in ways where people don't recognise her as being smart. I think she's genuinely just an idiot. Like, and then people like Isaac come in and recognise that actually she's got a lot going on in her brain and she is quite clever. She makes all of these notes, she has all these different interests. Like, she's not a stupid person. Her smarts just don't come out in the way that people expect. And I absolutely like headcanon that Amy is some sort of neurodivergent character. I don't think she's necessarily autistic, but ADHD maybe. I don't think there's no autism there, you know. Yeah, that's my thoughts on Amy for now. I might do a whole video about Amy. I fucking love Amy at this point. I also really enjoyed and appreciated the diversity of this season. Like, I don't think any season's been like particularly bad for it, but I can sort of foresee people complaining and being like, these spaces that are just filled with queer people don't exist, they're just shoehorning them in. Where were the straight people? Like, I can kind of already hear it, you know, like, you come to know what to expect. But like, as a queer person, quite often, like, you do manage to find spaces where you're like, holy fuck, why is it just other queers? Why is everybody like me? And it's fantastic and it's brilliant and it's great. And I really love that I was shown and presented, and like, it was just, even like, that's the thing, is it was normalised, and it was like, it felt like a true and genuine like community within the college, and like it was always there. But we still got like Otis and the others coming in as the outsiders and being very like, holy shit, people are nice, people are like us, people have like morals and ethics and are good people. Wow. Well, showing that for others, it's always been that way, and that's what they're used to, and the disconnect and like the inability to understand that kind of. And I also really enjoyed when Eric and the new friends were getting ready to go to the club, and they had that discussion that was cut short by Abby being like, no guys, that's too heavy. But the discussion of like, sometimes it's really difficult to be friends with straight people, and sometimes like the level of which like, because it feels like it shouldn't matter that much, you know, like it's like I might date a woman and you might date a man, well you're a woman, like it doesn't seem like it should matter. But they're such different like communities for me. Like approaching that topic as a whole is definitely one for a different video, and definitely from someone that's more educated and better than I am, okay? But I really enjoyed that was a conversation that came up, because it's definitely something that I've experienced where it's just like, this person just does not understand me, and it feels like they should but they don't, and it feels like the only big difference we have is that I'm queer and they're straight, and it feels like sometimes like it's just so difficult to be in straight environments and things like that. It's a difficult topic because it's hard to find the right words, I think, obviously, but I feel like it was nice that it was brought up, and I feel like they probably did themselves a favour by cutting it short, because it is so difficult to talk about and do it appropriately, you know? Adam's plot with his dad and his mum and all that, I wish they hadn't, as his parents, get back together, to be honest with you. But the stuff with like his dad trying to like be a better person and being like, you like, it's the thing of like, he's saying, oh, I know that this will take time and I know that like it won't change overnight, but I am trying my best. And the behaviour of like, but you are expecting it to change overnight, you're expecting to just suddenly be best friends, and you're saying you're not, but that's not what you're showing. As well as the constant like, you've never acted like you like me, and then you're shocked when I think that you don't like me. I think it was really nice to see such like a complex and difficult father-son, like parent-child relationship. And to be completely honest, as someone who no longer speaks to my parents, I mean, to be fair, my dad died, I just don't speak, I made the choice to not speak to my mother. I would like to see more happy endings that don't include the child making up with the parent, you know, provided they're like an adult child and don't need them to like feed them and shit. I feel like far too often it's like, oh, it doesn't matter that you put me through a horrible childhood and have created an absolute boatload of trauma within my psyche that I'm going to have to spend the years and thousands of pounds in therapy for, because you've absolutely fucked me up as a person. So you're just like plain inability to be a parent. But yeah, sure, you've decided 20 years later that you're going to make a better go of it, so I just have to forgive you and pretend it never happened. I don't like that. I would like to see more stories that end with, you know, like, you weren't a good enough parent, I'm making my own choices to be an independent person and build my own family based on people who have similar values to mine and who treat me in the way that I think that families should treat each other. And that would be nice to see. But also, I really like Adam as a character, and he so clearly wanted his dad to like him, so I'm kind of really glad that he got it. I know Maeve and Otis are meant to be the main characters. I didn't give a shit. I barely care about Otis, other than this Otis. Look at this oatcake. Oh. He's just a baby. He's just a baby. Yeah, this Otis is my child because I am my own version of Gillian Anderson. But Otis, I don't remember what their last name is, isn't it? Mulligan? I don't care about the Otis in the show, and I care even less about Maeve, to be honest with you. Like, there's the odd moment where she, like, listens to a band I like Bikini Kill or whatever, and I'm like, oh my god, I love her! And the rest of the time I'm like, I don't care about this girl. Quite frankly, they've really warmed me up to Ruby, and I kind of want Ruby to get Otis now, not because I think Otis is in any way deserving of her, but just because she wants him, obviously, and she should get what she wants. I feel like I've tackled everything that I'm going to remember, so I'm going to go now. If you've watched the show, please do let me know what you thought of it in the comments. Let me know what your opinions are on anything I said. Let me know how you related to the show. Let me know if you like this Otis or the Otis in the show more. If you haven't watched it, I'm not entirely sure why you sat through this whole video, but thank you, and maybe you should. One has genuinely gotten better. I'd say I'm probably like, maybe just maybe nearly halfway, maybe just, I'm not very good at telling how much liquid's in a can. I think maybe just less than halfway done with it, and the aftertaste does get better. That's the thing though, like, it's not good, it just gets to be less worse. I spent like 26 quid on that. So yeah, I post here on Thursdays and Sundays if you want to follow me and see more videos. I also post on TikTok daily at the moment, and I sometimes post on Twitter and Instagram, and they'll all be linked down below if you'd like to follow me anywhere else, because you can follow me in all those places. You can also become a YouTube member or a Patreon, and you can also donate to me on Ko-fi if you wanted to, but there's never any pressure with the cost of living crisis, everything's difficult. I get it, it's fine, you don't gotta. But they will also be linked in the little drop down bar box thing below if you wanted to do any of that stuff. I'd mostly really love it if you just subscribed, honestly. What are you doing? Why are you being so cute? Oh, one final thought as well. Shoot, he's gonna be so good as the Doctor. When they found out about O, who I immediately didn't trust because they were fucking called O. Like, come on, that bitch was gonna turn out to be the Master. Did not trust her. Loved that Shooty was immediately like, O. And someone edit Eric for talking about O with Abby into Spy Master, Spyful, please. But the way he ran down the hall and like pushed someone out of the way to go and tell, there were just 1,000 fucking moments where I was like, Eric is going to be the best Doctor. He's going to be so fucking good. I'm really excited to see Shooty Gatwa play the Doctor, okay? He's gonna be so fucking good. He's gonna be so good. But yeah, whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year. And I will see you again in a couple of days. I'm sorry, Oat Man. I'm sorry.